Am I the only one? It should be like, hey, you've been talking for 3 minutes. Are you sure that you want to forget to record on that? Yay, started social media. Yes. So big, such a big milestone. 90% clean. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I feel like my kitchen's only clean on the overnight. Mona, I hope you're feeling better. All right, Victoria, that's huge. Yeah, good plan with bite-sized steps. Bite-sized steps are key. Love it. All right. Keep the wins coming in the chat so we can celebrate you. And then I'm going to kind of fill you in on my little agenda for today. So if you just came in, I think today would be a perfect day to just take like a very deep breath and kind of look backwards at the themes that we've had over the last few weeks and just root ourselves into like more clarity and more pause before we keep trucking along. I'm gonna let a couple more in. I love, love, love the participation and the attendance. It's amazing. So, if you have been feeling at all a little bit like unclear, or even we could go as far as saying, like, if you've been feeling a little bit behind, I'm here to remind you that it's not a race, number one, and also that we are really in the middle of what I think is like the most powerful part of the process, which is really just finding your voice and your message, and then using that and pairing it with the sales skills that will come as we continue to move. So, deep breath in and just recognize that these are normal feelings. And so today, I'm hoping that by the end of the call, we are going to look at your Instagram or your Facebook bio so that I can bring you like all of the things that I've kind of picked up over the last few weeks doing these all day long and share that with you. And then if anybody feels like they still need some tweaks, that's something that could be top of mind. I also really want to help you get some more clarity around like the top three problems and the top three desires of your ideal client. And more so on that deeper level, not that surface level. And then we can open it up to discussion if anyone has questions. And then lastly, I want you to really sit with yourself for a moment and create a simple doable plan for consistent content creation, whatever that looks like. Okay, so really just being able to check a few more things off the list as far as our social media goes and letting that kind of work itself in the background. Okay. Let's see what else. And then I'm saving a little bit of time too for some objection handling stuff so that you have something to pair with what's in the portal this week, which is very much about like handling objections. Okay? So if you just came on, we're just sharing some wins in the chat, regaining motivation, discipline. Love to hear that. Posted first sound healing video on YouTube. Massive. Good job. Want to change what it is that I'm selling. Maybe it's not my in-person doula that's my main business, but rather my advocacy services. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's such a great realization to have. And I know it could sound scary, but I think it's like that awareness is absolutely key. And then Samantha said she'll be sending her contract this afternoon to the third time mom chatted with last week. Yay. Alex is having lots and lots and lots of wins, which makes me so happy. Okay, great. I'm glad you're on the same page with the agenda. Awesome. Okay. So, let's dive right into your Instagram bio and again, everybody's in different stages. But first, if you are able to journal or at least just think on this, first and foremost, I want you, I'm starting with very easy prompts. I want you to write down, who do you serve? Try to be specific as possible. Who do you serve? And some of you may have more specifics now than you did 3 weeks ago, right? So it's good to just revisit this, even though it seems very obvious. Who do you serve? Get specific. Is anybody stuck there? And it's okay. Like today is literally like, hey, I'm struggling. I feel like I'm getting caught up on the same roadblocks, like, and there is no right or wrong. So if anybody wants to kind of talk through this as we go, raise your hand or just unmute yourself or drop it in the chat. Even if it's like I need help niching or, narrowing that down even further. We're okay. All right.
I'm
Yeah.
struggling. I know
Yeah.
we touched upon it very briefly in our call, but like when
Yeah.
you ask that question, it sounds simple, but I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Moms, anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk through it. So, Molly, give us kind of an overview of your perfect dream client. If you're able to picture her, maybe it's someone you've already worked with or someone you want to work with. And like when I ask that, don't even worry about like, well, I want to make sure that I can cater to the masses. Like, don't worry about any of those little things. Just answer that question as like, who is that woman? How would you describe her?
I don't, um, I guess someone that's willing to, um, that's open to learning new things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, um, I don't know. I feel myself kind of starting to become more drawn to people that, want to try things a little more naturally or unmedicated,
Okay.
but at the same time, I feel like others need our help too. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't necessarily want to draw that line. Um, it- um,
Well, let's stop
I-
there
I-
for a minute because I'm going to play devil's advocate for you to just kind of give you a sounding board, right? So, I guess my biggest question, because you know me, I just like go straight for the jugular, but like I think the biggest thing for us is like, is that coming from a place of fear, right? And it's okay. Like, is it like I want to go the more natural route, meaning like I have more fun talking about unmedicated birth, whereas other doulas might be like, my wheelhouse is really navigating the interventions because I have so many clients that really prefer a pain-free experience and to them it's more comforting to know they can grab an epidural and they don't have to overthink it, all these things. Like there's just such different paths, right? And so I think it's like if you say to yourself, well, I've been kind of feeling like I like the unmedicated route, but I don't, I feel for the moms that need me even if they don't fit that bill. And my question to you is that coming from a place of fear or is that coming from somewhere else, and trying to get to the root of that?
Mhm. I don't think it's coming from a place of fear. I think it's just kind of, as I've gotten further along
Yeah.
in this work, I'm starting to see my preferences, but I don't
Mhm.
feel, I guess, I don't know. I just can't foresee, um, I don't know, turning
No, this
anyone
is
down that
great.
reaches out. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think so long, I started out working with agencies and, of course, if we had a strong feeling, we could say we didn't work with a family, but it was just whoever you got, you interviewed
Yeah.
with and hoped they chose you,
Yeah, so
So I
that's
never
like what
really
you
had to
know.
think
Hmm.
about who
Yeah. Okay, so
I
this
would
is
choose.
great. So let's frame it a different way. Let's kind of go this route. If you are open and willing to work with a variety of moms, which I know a lot of you are, and Molly, it's sounding like you definitely are. And so, what if, for the purposes of our IG bio and our strategy and our own sanity and clarity, I'm more so asking the question around like, who are we going to create content for?
Yeah,
Okay. Because I think that even in my own experience, like I often will say the word in-person doula. That does not mean that there aren't people here today that are 100% virtual, but who bought my program. So I'm not saying I won't work with you unless you're doing
right.
in-person
That
work,
makes sense. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
from my perspective of understanding the deep desires and like the pain points and the struggles of being an in-person doula and wanting to supplement that income with virtual offers, that's very specific, right? And so I think for you, I want you to think about like, okay, well then who do I want to talk to specifically? And then making the commitment to go all in on that just for your own clarity and your own direction. And then knowing that you're in the driver's seat. If you have a consult with somebody who wants a fully medicated birth, listens, like totally different than maybe what you would want, then that's your choice if you want to take that mama on. And there's no rules around that, right? But it's from a clarity, sales, social media content perspective, I think that's really where that question is coming from for me to help you
Yeah.
make those connections with the right women. Yeah. Samantha, I think you had your hand up. Feel free to unmute. Otherwise, you've got some beautiful things in the chat here, Molly, which is people validating where you're coming from, those same feelings of like not wanting to niche down, not wanting to offend moms, especially around their own preferences. I'm glad that resonated, Troy, because I think that like you're all so capable of serving everyone. There is no question. The hard part is us making the commitment to go all in on a specific type to help our own promotion and marketing so we can serve more mamas, right? It's really about like connecting with the right person.
Lisa, can I jump in there? Because I feel like I have a similar struggle to Molly where
Please.
like I feel like I have more to offer new moms, and I know we are just discussing this, but I
Yeah.
also love the whole natural path, and I've done that for myself. So like I'm also in this like
Yeah.
pull and
Go war.
push, right? And
Yeah.
like it feels really scary just niching down to like those new moms who are anxious and worried because then I'm not necessarily going to get those third, fourth time moms who want to do a natural delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. It's totally scary. And I'm gonna let Samantha chat in a second. I think it's almost like what if I convinced you, and I'm using that word as kind of like a joke, but what if I convinced you that it was like you are going to have the same amount of success and impact if you talk to the masses as you would if you only talk to that specific niche? And so wouldn't it be easier, more clear, more fun even to like go all in on the thing that lights you up, that you feel like you know like the back of your hand and that really like suits you and your personality and like that connection? And when I frame it like that, I think you start to believe that that is actually true.
Right. Doesn't sound so scary, you're saying.
And I think I could make the case that you're going to be more successful if you do have that clarity, because that's been my personal experience, is that the niching down is like a mind, it messes with your mind, but at the end of the day, you're actually calling in more people, I think, because you can differentiate yourself so much easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Samantha, go ahead because I think your input will be helpful.
Okay. I did throw some of it in the chat if somebody
Mhm.
has already read it, but so I gave birth for the first time 16 months ago. And before that, so I've been a doula for like 10 years. Before that, I worked with anybody and everybody that I could like get hired by. And I figured out that I needed to start niching down, which is really hard to do.
Mhm. Oh no, I think we lost her. Did she freeze for everybody except, yeah, she'll be
Did
back.
I freeze?
Now you're back.
Okay. I'm like, everybody's frozen. Um, niching down is really hard, but I think when I did become pregnant, because I was the doula that didn't have any like personal pregnancy or birth experience, it really helped me niche down, clarify, and like find my people. So like the last 16 months, the people that I've been hired by are the people that they're more like-minded than like me than prior. So, a lot of the clients that I've had in the last 16 months, they're planning a hospital birth, but they want like that home birth atmosphere, that unmedicated, low intervention. And I would say, I don't know, I'll just throw a number, like 75% of them have switched to home birth. And I start those conversations with like, I just want to know where they're at. Like, have you thought about home birth because everything you're saying
Hmm.
sounds like you would get that if you went that route. And then we just have deeper conversations on it. Um, but then also, I preface like that's a bias of mine. Like, just because I had a great experience doesn't mean you have to choose that to try to have that same experience. And then also, like the mom I just talked to last week, she's like, so if I don't choose a home birth, do you go to hospitals? I'm like, absolutely. Like this is your birth, not mine. Like if she wants a low intervention birth, and if that's in a hospital, I'm there to support her. So like even niching down as far as like I primarily want to do home birth, like I'm still open to other births because even a home birth could transfer to a hospital.
I think that's really helpful. Like
So,
something about the way that you articulated it from that perspective is and I'm all about like leaning into our bias in a way that doesn't interfere. And I know that's unpopular opinion for some, and I'm okay with it. Like I used to tell my dual clients, like, you're hiring me for my bias, whether you understand that or not.
yeah, yeah.
And if that turns you off, 100% respect that, but then I'm not your girl because I literally can't help myself. It's
Yeah.
going to come through, you know, and I had a lot of doula friends that were like, you can't say that. I'm like, I just said it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's you get what you get from me, and I think that all comes back to that authenticity. I hope that helps, Molly, because I think like you got little bits and pieces of really like maybe for you this is a beautiful trial and error right now of like what does feel good to speak about and how can I kind of have help mamas self-select when they come across my content. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, just, I appreciate all the comments and everything that is really helpful. And it just kind of came to mind while I absolutely love, unmedicated low intervention for these moms, as I'm kind of transitioning into cranial sacral therapy and the impact that that can have on the babies, I feel like my pull is educating moms on the importance of low intervention for the baby and the effect that it has on babies because I feel like that information is not out there. They kind of get a little bit of how it can affect them, but not as much the babies. And if, you know, and the two goals would be, let's get these pregnant people balanced and supported prior to birth so that the babies are less impacted both in utero and during the birth process. That I think is the message that I would like to get out there. So,
And I love, love, love that you just made that full circle connection for yourself because literally the only reason that we're even spending all this time niching down and like going all in and narrowing our focus and things like that is so that it all leads directly back to our main offer. So you literally just you kind of just answered that question for yourself in a super powerful way. And it doesn't surprise me that this has been a piece with lack of clarity for you because you just recently kind of like are diving into this new niche, which is so exciting. So I think just like want to say, give ourselves grace for sometimes we lack the clarity because we don't really know where we're headed yet.
for
But
sure.
I'm super
Yeah.
excited to see you talking about exactly what you just said. And there are not a ton of birth workers out there highlighting those things. I love, love, love this direction for you. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. Talk about like meeting a mom where she's at and then bringing it back to those early postpartum days and how that's going to work for you full circle. Really awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, I'm going to drop the most basic little formula in the chat, mostly just to give you an idea of like if you really need to rework what you've got, where you can start. And then my biggest thing today is like I want it to really scream who you are. And if that means like a fun little phrase or vibe or energy or tagline, I really want you to have fun with this. So, if you are doing in-person support, I highly recommend having your location within your name line because we know that that is the most searchable algorithm pushed out section. And um and make sure you're using the well-known phrase. So like for me, technically I'm in a town outside of Buffalo, but I would still use Buffalo because that's what people know and that's what people would search for. And for you it might be different. Like your little town name because you're in a bigger city like might be more what you want to really make obvious to your ideal client. So I would definitely recommend adding the location to your name line as well as whatever keywords make sense. So again, thinking about your ideal client, like what could she potentially be searching for on Instagram where I would come up? Okay. If you notice, and I will say till I'm blue in the face, I'm not the Instagram guru, but like on my profile in my name line, I've got sign more doula clients. And it's not that I necessarily think someone's on Instagram typing that in, but I feel like I don't think people are searching for like doula sales coach, right? Like nobody's searching that. So I think you almost want to think about like what keywords can I throw in there? What things can I test? What do I want them to know immediately is at the core of what I do. Okay? Then I really love the idea of a before and an after in terms of like a transformation. What what are they experiencing with you? Where are they going from and where are they headed? Um, and it doesn't have to be cookie cutter, but I do definitely want people to understand what they're gonna get when they work with you. Okay, so let's some of you drop some of these in here. So I'm just gonna back up a bit. Okay, Samantha, guiding you to a calm, confident birth that you feel good about. That is your, yeah, your bio line. And you're asking, should I have more about planning like a low intervention birth? I'm actually just gonna pull up so I can see your whole.
So I'm kind of playing around with the words right now based on your
Yeah.
formula. So that line, like guiding moms from overwhelmed to calm, confident birth you feel good about.
hmm
Like, and I know like also you can only have so many characters. I think it's
Yeah.
like 40 or 50 or something. So I know I might have to work with it a little bit there, but
Yeah. So, I think that what I want to refrain from is like, this is gorgeous, like guiding you to a calm, confident birth that you feel good about. But it's hard for me to know what doula is saying that. And so if there's any room to kind of like put more of Samantha in there. And don't ask me how we're going to do that just yet. Like, we got to figure that out. Um, I also wonder, and I know that everybody has a lot of feelings about this, but I also wonder if there's room to kind of call out like how they're feeling now before they get to have this beautiful transformation with you, right? And I know that like there's that fine line between fear mongering or being negative or like being another voice on the internet that's like harping on the negative side of things. But I feel strongly that it's like, are they overwhelmed? Are they anxious? Are they scared? Are they overly confident? Are they ill-informed? Are they uninformed? Are they, really kind of figuring out like where are we guiding them from? We know we're getting them to calm and confident, but like where are we guiding them from? So something to think about, you
is
know.
overwhelmed too broad? Like,
If we could narrow it more, I'd love to, you know. But at the same time, it's tricky because, like right now, I want you to look at your bio and say like, am I self-selecting? Are people able to self-select? Meaning,
am I going to get that low intervention home birth mom?
exactly. And if not, what can we do to kind of just make it more obvious? And it's not easy, and we're here to help. But I do think it's kind of like I want her to read your bio and say, "Oh yeah, she's exactly for me. I'm gonna scroll further and check out these pin posts and I'm gonna look at her reels and things like that." Yeah. Um, Yeah. I like the DM me to explore your options for sure because I think that that's more specific. I like how specific that is for sure. So keep playing with it.
What does that mean, explore your options versus like a virtual consult or
That's a good,
more
that's,
options?
yeah, I think like, and it's funny because I made some assumptions and I think like I know Samantha wants to work with somebody who wants to understand all their options, including like whether or not they can have a home birth, right? And so I think for me, I kind of like assumed that I understood that's what she meant, but maybe what we're realizing is that there could be more room to make that really, really obvious, right? I wonder what it would feel like for you to even put a question in there or something about like consider home birth or have you considered home birth or you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It kind of depends. That might be kind of depends what you want, but
So going back to the niche of home birth, it's
yeah.
like, yes, like that is like my like most ideal client,
Mhm.
but also it's more so that like it's hard to niche down to like something so specific because it's like you want to be there, like everybody else was saying, like if they want a low intervention hospital birth
Yeah.
because they don't have the funds for a home birth or they
Yeah.
are higher risk, so they, risk out of home
Yeah.
birth. So it's like trying to like niche
Yeah.
down, but also like broaden your services. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I almost wonder if it could be like DM me to explore your birth options, just to kind of like close the gap on like what exactly are we exploring? You know what I mean?
right.
Um, and and then like if you could give yourself some differentiators, what would those be? Like what can we throw in there that we know it's Samantha that is talking, you know?
I mean, I'm just kind of thinking like I do body ready method. I have classes. I'm virtual and in person. Yeah, things to sit with. So
Yeah, for sure. And again, like, do I think the bio is gonna like make or break your business?
no.
Absolutely not. But I think the exercise of doing this is actually really more so to inform our content creation later, right? Like once we've nailed this, we kind of can put all of our content through a lens. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like we're not reinventing the wheel at all. Um, so yeah, I think what's missing for you, Samantha, is the differentiator or vibe. And I think if you just play around and have some fun with it, you're gonna get there, you know? Molly, I definitely like the changes that you've made, especially around like happier baby, smoother postpartum, because I think that that is much closer to the, like the end offer for sure. Um, and I wonder, BRM, that's body ready method. Okay. Again, I wonder if there is room to throw the Alexandria up higher in the name line if I don't know what characters you're working with, but I do think like the bulk of what you're offering these days is in person, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think like I said, if possible, definitely see if you can get that location in your name line or like the nickname for your location or whatever that might be, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Um And is the CST yeah, that's the cranial sacral thing.
Yeah, there's just
Okay.
not room. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah.
max number of
Yep.
characters.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think we're a lot closer and this is getting much more specific. Um, and again, asking yourself like, when do I want to work with mom? Like if I could be doing the bulk of my work at a certain stage of pregnancy or birth or postpartum, what would that be? And then kind of making that known as well. Because some of you do want it to be like the first 30 days after birth. Some of you want it to be 6 months before birth. It kind of depends on what your bread and butter really is. Yeah. Let's pull up another one. Alex brought up a good point too for you, Molly, which is the word body work, which I think could be like even more obvious to like especially a new mother who might not even know what cranial sacral therapy is. I think that's a
Yeah, that's
really
a great point.
a
Yeah.
great point. Yep. Love it. Okay. Troy, I had a question for you to put you on the spot. Um, how is it with the two accounts? Like, is it really hard to keep both accounts up and going, or is it just like super simple for you? Because everybody has different feelings on this.
I hate it. And just because social media in and of itself is its own job. Somebody loves
Right.
it. Somebody loves it. And
Yep.
I love taking pictures of myself, connecting with people. I love that.
Hmm.
I really do. So I think what I hate the most about it is just not having clarity on how Troy Loren is the umbrella and then
Yep.
Mama Tree Doula is its own thing. So I
Yeah.
spent the last 2 years trying to figure out how can I be really broad and still myself and connect with the people from Troy Loren,
Yeah.
and how can I also honor that space in Mama Tree Doula? Like what's for her is for
Yeah.
her. And then
Yeah.
what's for me in all of those spaces is for me. And I think
Okay.
I've started to find a thing like my ladies you're welcome little segment is it talks about womb wellness. I'm sorry, womb wellness or
Yeah.
things that I can do, belly bonding real quick, tips that I can give to anybody that I thought only worked in pregnancy or in postpartum. And I have my personal music in the background, my recorded albums or tracks in the background of that. So now I'm just trying to figure out once I get my pillars together and the things that I talk about, I think the ebb and flow of the two would make more sense to me and they wouldn't be so
Yeah.
stressful. But it is a job and it's not necessarily
Yeah.
the job that I signed up for. I signed up to be a
Right.
birth and an entertainer, but this is
Yeah.
a part of it.
Yeah, okay. So talk to us because if there's any way we can help, I want to because you're so good at creating content and I see you create amazing content on both pages and I'm like, how is she doing it? Like it's so hard to even
I
create
literally
content.
record my life. I record
Yeah,
everything I do. I
I
spent
love it.
hours in the backyard yesterday building my chicken coop while my kids ran around. I made body butters with my kids for my mom's thing. Like I just set up the camera all the time and if I
Love
feel
it.
like it's applicable, it's applicable. The only thing I think I could work on is the copy, get the messaging right.
Okay.
Because before I was getting really I love my reels on Mama Tree Doula. Like I think they're so fun, but they don't convert. They don't necessarily send anybody to anything or
Okay.
there's no
Yeah.
so
Okay. And then my last question to help you with the clarity, like look at this, 32,000 views. That's amazing. Um, Like, okay, so are you saying that Troy Loren is the brand and then there are services under that brand that don't fit under the Doula umbrella?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and what are they? I'm just curious.
So I'm a birth coach, and in
Yep.
my birth as a birth coach, I also do skincare, Soul Journey Apothecary, that I started when my son was 6 months and had really dry skin.
Yeah.
I am an entertainer, and me as a
Yeah.
singer doesn't necessarily make sense for me to be posting under Mama Tree Doula in that way. So
Why?
I I think my covers work. So the way that I thought in my mind, how can I actually get my covers to work with Mama Tree Doula, to record them in my home and get them all mixed and mastered by myself and to do the great things and to maybe snip it, put it in the background or something, but then have it as audio for me leading a prenatal yoga or postnatal yoga or something like that. Like that's the way I would integrate it. I have no problems with showing me singing and
Yeah.
performing and having fun, but I don't think it's the space for that specifically. Like I wouldn't want tons of me singing, tons of me doing body butters here or tons of me doing that on my Mama Tree Doula page. I would like for the things that are Mama Tree Doula specific that I know people buy into us. They
Yeah,
want just us. Like the information is on the internet. They could find anything that we
totally.
sell on
Totally.
the internet. So they are buying us. They want to see the nuances of us. But I think there's a there's a fine line from showing them a bit of us and then going overboard. And I think Troy Loren allows me to merge everything in that space and feel comfortable and confident.
Yeah, I would love to hear what others think of that conversation because you're so magnetic. And for me, it's like the melting pot of the two is your power. And I know there's logistics to sort out, but I'm just not convinced that you have to have two accounts. I truly am not convinced, but that doesn't matter what I think. And really, I just want you to feel so good about it. But I honestly, like, if you literally just got on a reel and sang and it had nothing to do with doula work, birth, nothing, but then your caption talked about how music has been a big part of your motherhood or your doulahood or like any of that, to me, it's like there's the thread.
Mm,
It's not out of left field. And now I got to see this beautiful portrayal of like you expressing yourself in your full humanity. I don't know. I'd love to hear what other people think. But I feel like you're almost spreading yourself thin, and I just want to challenge you.
hmm.
Only you know the answer, and I'm going to support you no matter what. But I almost wonder if you could almost like slowly transition these all into one account and it would do just as well, if not better, and take a little pressure off of you. I don't know. I'd love to hear what others think. And I don't know why I even brought it up, but if you are struggling to find time to create all that content, I want to give you permission to just
Yeah.
mold it together.
I love that and I appreciate it. I know I found that when I had my page, I kind of, when I had just one page for it, I constantly gained and lost tons of followers based off of each post.
Mm.
So if I gained a lot of followers because I was skating with my kids, I would then turn around and lose a lot of followers if my next post was about me singing or birth work in some way, you know? So it was
Mhm.
like I was, it was one hand, and what do the kids say now? 6, 7.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Um,
I'm probably like too old for that. I don't know.
and I totally don't understand it. But it was interesting. So I didn't really know. I'm spreading
Yeah.
myself thin regardless.
Yeah.
But I do love the reframe that you had that mentioned just who would you like to speak to on your socials. You can still accept everybody. You can
Mhm.
still,
Mhm.
support whomever you want, but it'll make it easier for you to be consistent and show up here if you do niche down.
Yeah.
Um, so I agree. It's spreading me thin, but I've seen it backfire on one end and I've been
Yeah.
confused with the two. I haven't found the sweet spot yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't and there might be truth to that for sure. I mean, I think I gain and lose the same all the like it takes me a very long time to inch my way up in follower count because I lose people all the time and I'm assuming it's because I'll put something polarizing out there. But then in my brain I'm like, well, then they're probably never going to buy from me anyway. So if I'm rubbing them the wrong way, it's probably better for both of us that they're going to move on and find somebody that's more relatable. Um yeah, so just food for thought. Like, I just don't think you have to have an answer right now. But if you're looking at everything going, something's got to give, and I'm feeling like there's just so many tasks, then I say we play. And maybe you collaborate with the two for a while and just see what happens there, but then eventually take your followers on that journey with you if you decide that you do end up wanting to kind of like really just be the most authentic you.
I'll definitely do that. I like when I collaborate with both posts and
Yeah.
pages a lot. My Mama
Yeah.
Trula page gets way more, views over there. But
Okay.
I'll see what it looks like to merge the two together because honestly, Troy Loren as the R&B doula in my line for my Troy Loren page makes sense. And down there
Yeah.
it's check me out as Mama True Doula. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to you more about it.
Yeah, I'm curious, does anyone have any thoughts on like Troy really just showing up as Troy and then like at the end of the day it's Mama Tree Doula is the company name. Like that is, you know what I mean? That's where the invoice is probably coming from. But aside from that, like you're buying Troy, right? And you're buying her energy and you're buying her expertise, you know?
And that's what I want all of my businesses to be. And I know I'll never probably slow down on creating businesses because I have so many ideas. I have so many things. I'm strange. So I want people to buy me for the things that I love to do. I don't want it to be anything other than that.
Yeah, and I think all of us could benefit from the conversation around, do we have like a core signature something that mostly all roads lead to? And then we know in the back of our mind that there are other offers, um, continuity offers or precursor offers, or like help someone get closer to our bigger offer or whatever it is. But really, like, we want to keep the focus on that core offer. And it's almost like I once had a coach say, like, until you make six figures, stick with the one thing. It's not easy. Most of us don't have the discipline for it. But if you can go all in on something, hit that six-figure mark, and then decide you want to take like another branch and add it in, chances are like it's not going to throw you off, right? But like when we're solopreneurs and limited capacity and limited focus, there is some power in going all in on one thing, but it is not easy. So I just want you to do that. All of us, I want all of us to just do that soul searching of like, is this thing that I'm working on and promoting distracting people from my core offer or distracting myself from making sustainable income off my core offer or not? You know what I mean? And constantly asking ourselves. And I don't know the answer. Like it's a very individual for each of us, okay? But yeah, I just think social media comes very natural to you, and I want to help make it easier on you. All right, let's get more of these amazing bios here. Okay, Mona, love that you added the North Jersey doula in. I like that you changed. I think jargon is definitely more of like what people say. So I like that you took that suggestion. Pregnant women 35 and older and their partners. Love, love, love. Positive birth outcomes based on evidence. I love it. Is that 150 characters or are you over and that's what you mean you're worried?
There's no call to action in it.
Okay. So, one thing is the tense is feeling off to me a little bit, so I don't know why, and I would love to hear what others think, but I want you to play around with like translating medical jargon or helping pregnant women 35 plus and their partners translate medical jargon, reduce anxiety and interventions, like instead of reduces, because it almost like sounds like it's talking past tense to me. I don't know why. So that's like the stupidest little minor thing. Um, I'm trying to think of the call to action, which right now I know is really more to start a conversation with you, correct? Yeah. You could do you think people type North Jersey in? Like, okay, because I was gonna say you could do N period, but let's not mess with that. I think you could get rid of coaches pregnant women because I think they're gonna know like I think just naming the pregnant women 35 plus is totally fine. Anywhere where the word and is spelled out, you could always use the symbol and.
Right. Oh, it's good. I didn't think of that. I
Yeah.
changed from an ing to an es to cut off one character off several words.
I love it. I love it.
But then it didn't go.
Um,
All right.
Even like positive outcomes could be, you don't have to have birth outcomes. I think they know because you've established you're a doula, you're working with pregnant women. Um, yeah, I think you're right there. I would just keep playing with it. You're gonna figure it out. Um, I sometimes I say we could get rid of our last name unless you think somebody really knows your full name and they're looking for them for that. Otherwise, like just knowing it's Mona could be enough, and that could save you some characters there. Um, yeah. We are so close. I love all the changes. I think that you've come such a long way in clarity around who you're speaking to, which is amazing. Let us know if you're really struggling to fit the call to action in, but I think with ChatGPT's help, you can totally get there.
Okay.
That's a question.
Please.
Um, I'm very new to this. So
Yeah, it's okay.
the name and location goes on the top, and that doesn't count as part of the 150 word limit. I'm just looking at.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, like your name line is going to have its own restricted characters, and I couldn't tell you how much it is. I think most people have no problem fitting it in there. And then the 150 starts with the three bio lines.
So I can do like Chaya. Sorry, I'm blanking on what I wrote here.
Yeah, I could pull it up.
Chaya, doula, birth advocate, Greater Boston. That would be a
Totally.
name.
I think that will fit.
And just as far as location wise, I'm really trying to catch everyone where I live right
Yeah.
outside of the city of Boston.
Yeah.
So obviously putting Boston in there, it's a huge city and it can get so many people there. And then I also
Right.
work a lot in our synagogue and stuff is in the North Shore, which is about like 30 minutes from Boston, but
Yeah.
obviously a lot of people commute and like it's two different areas, but I want to catch both. So we do call it like the greater Boston area, but are people searching that? Is that like an issue with searching wise if I write greater Boston?
It's a great question. I feel like I'm not the best one to answer because I don't really like live in that area. So you're probably going to know more than any of us on like what would somebody search.
Right. So like
Maybe search
people would
greater.
search they would search like Boston and then like North Shore. Right.
Okay.
Those are two different areas and
Yeah.
greater Boston encompasses both. But is
So
somebody searching greater Boston? I don't know. I think people are
yeah.
either searching Boston or North Shore, but
Yeah.
my issue is that I want to capture both with the
Yeah.
word greater Boston.
I think you could probably fit both in the name line, to be honest. And I would just put Boston and North Shore, even if it's right next to each other, they're going to figure it out. And then that way, if they are searching Greater Boston, you're still popping up because the word Boston's in there.
Mhm.
So that's what I would test. You know what I mean? And also like these bios, like there's always room for like how many kids do you have or like what do you call yourself? Like, what other titles do you give yourself outside of doula? Like there's always room for that as well. Um,
Good point.
yeah, like I think Danielle has tested quite a few characters in her name line. So if you look in the chat, so I think you're gonna have no problem fitting all that in because Danielle's able to do her full name, prenatal yoga and birth doula and Western Loudon. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there's quite a few characters there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Haya, any like challenges with what you're thinking in terms of like, does that little super simple formula that I dropped helpful at all?
Yeah, that was
Okay,
great.
cool.
What I'm trying to think of these two different taglines. Well, maybe without my name, I might have some more space. I was wondering how I was getting everything in.
Yeah, you will
But I
totally, if you hit edit, there will be like, I think they're two separate little sections. Yeah.
hmm
Hmm.
My question is, I had these two great lines. I was wondering what you think
Yeah.
which one, or maybe now I can fit both. Where was it? Moving you from a birth warrior. Oh, thanks, Mona. I'm looking at what everybody wrote here. Okay, great idea. Sorry, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
supporting mamas in the greater Boston area, helping you go from birth warrior to birth warrior. Birth with calm, confidence, and strength. Is that like repetitious? I feel like it was explaining helping you go from birth warrior to birth warrior. The added line, birth with calm, confidence, and strength.
I think they're both great. Like I think you're kind of like explaining.
The first line, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And then I think there's room in there to call in again, like who specifically is this page for? Like who's going to land here and be like, oh yeah, I need to be absorbing her content because we have this thing in common, or that's what I'm searching for, right?
Was
So
that included in helping you go from birth warrior to warrior? You don't feel like that says it there?
I don't because like it does to an extent, but I think like we had talked a little bit about like first time parents or new moms or anxious moms or don't be afraid to like call that out.
Mhm.
Yeah. And maybe it's like helping blank moms go, birth with calm, confidence, and strength, or whatever
Oh, that's
that
a good
line
one.
was. So it's just that little bit of extra to really call in the right mama. Yeah, this
Mhm.
is not easy. Like it's not an exact science, right? We're all like, what's the best? And I've tested 6 billion different things, and it's okay to change it up. Um, but, to me, it's kind of like with all the research I've done with the social media gurus, they're all saying like your bio needs to say who you are, who you help, how you help. And if it's not doing that, then we're hurting ourselves with all this time that we're putting into content creation because when they land on their page, they're still confused. So
Mhm.
that's really, I think, like at the end of the day, there's that fine line of not overthinking it, but then also like the work never feels done, but you're all killing it.
For
So
you?
for any of us, yeah. I love it.
Do you think
Yeah,
I
so
should add
yeah,
in like mom of four?
I love
Mm.
that personally. I think
Yeah,
it
like
gives
where
you
would I
some,
add that in?
I think
Oh,
I
by
know.
the way, also.
Yeah. Yeah, play around with it. And again, maybe these are things that bleed into those pinned posts also. Like maybe if we don't have room for it in the name line, we're highlighting it in our pinned post because that's where someone's going to also get to know us, you
Mhm.
know? Okay, Danielle. Prenatal yoga that preps your body and mind for birth. Love it. Supporting families and evidence-based birth. DM for a free yoga class or to book a free call. So this has come a long way as well, Danielle, and I really like the changes that you've made. My only suggestion, which is pretty nitpicky, and it's really ultimately up to you, but the two different call to actions, it's just something about like my sales psychology brain is let's direct them to one. And I don't know how you feel about that, but it's and I kind of am assuming it's because you have multiple offers. Like it's like, hey, DM for a free yoga class if you're looking for prenatal or postnatal yoga, but also book a call if you want an in-person doula. Am I right?
Yeah, but I actually made some updates on my website today
Okay.
that work well with just
Great.
saying like book a free call, I think.
Great.
Because
I
then
agree.
it's yeah, and it's more like encompassing of like we can talk about any of the services you're interested in.
Love
Yeah.
it. That's exact. You like read my mind because really, like when you get deeper into that heart-led method, you're going to know what to be pitching this person, whether it's a consult or in the DMs. And we're not going to pitch them three things. We're going to pitch them the one thing that they're going to
Yeah.
say yes to. So yeah, I'm 100% there with you. I
Cool.
I love it. Um, and again, like this is so close to being like nailed, but I want more Danielle. I'm not sure how, but I want you to just think on that, play around like your vibe, your energy. It's so like incredible. Like if I'm gonna take a yoga class, it's gonna be with someone like you. You know what I mean? And I don't
Look
really
at
know how to articulate that, but
look at how I put one more in there as a comment under my
oh,
original.
cool. Show me the evidence. And then what does that mean, doc?
Like show me the evidence, dog. Like
Oh,
doc.
I love that. That's cute. I wonder if you need to throw a quote in there. Or am I the only one that didn't pick up on that? Because it might just be a me thing.
No, I
I,
see what you're saying.
I like the center your mind for a smooth, calm birth. I love the reduced pregnancy pain. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I think was missing was like your quirkiness. Cool. All right. These are getting good. Let's see what else we've got. Supporting moms seeking calm, confident home and low intervention. I like the specificity, Samantha. I like it. I think we're getting there. Guiding Boston moms from worried to warrior, obsessed with that, helping you birth with confidence, calm, and strength. And then I agree with you. I think figuring out how to throw in there that you're a mama of four, because
Mhm.
especially since I know that you're open to showing a lot of your family on your Instagram, which I know isn't everybody's strategy, but so I think to me it pairs so good with that.
That was
I,
my updated.
How do you get your name, like Shaya's name, where underneath the business name? I mean, I know, is it
I think it's in the name line. I don't even remember how I did that.
like
so
when I edit profile, I can do it there? like if I, and you're limited in what you can, how many changes you can make. But like, should I do it on the same? I don't know how she got it under there.
Yeah, I think what might have happened is because she didn't have like those three bio lines.
Oh yeah, I
It
didn't
just
bio
it
yet.
Oh, okay.
defaulted, so that's not going to work for any of us once those bio lines. It's just
Oh,
it's like her
okay.
brand new account. Good question.
But
Very good question.
I know at one point you had mentioned it would be good to have my name in there, but
Hmm.
so should I try to incorporate that in the bio lines
I
then?
think so. Let me pull you
Okay.
up again. What is Giving Hands, right?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I would love to see here
Yeah,
your
because I mean the logo, and maybe I can work on that. It's not very clear in the logo, so I do think it's important to have the name.
I do too. And I would
Okay.
love to see your face on the logo. I know it's not
I'm not
everybody's.
doing
Okay.
that.
That's okay too. I don't, there's absolutely like, just because my way does not mean it's the only way. I will say that till I'm blue in the face. So I respect where you're at with that. But yeah, I think here where it says Giving Hands Doula Support, I think technically, like, we don't need to reiterate the Giving Hands Doula Support because they're going to see your handle. So I think your name here and maybe the location, definitely doula, the word doula. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I think that's, and then
So I
that
do it
and then that
there.
would free up some characters for you here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Okay, I'll play with that. Thank you.
Yep. And again, we're always thinking like, where is this mom right now and where does she want to be? And how can I like call that out? Yeah, love
Okay,
it.
thanks.
Greater Boston area. Hi, I think we talked through this, right? I'm just behind on the chat. We kind of talked through getting rid of like greater Boston area and doing like Boston and North, whatever it was. And
Yeah, I'm just not so clear. What the idea is, it's for the search engine, this
the
the
name line, the
the
name
name line
line.
is for the search engine. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah. This is what I'm being told. Again, I'm not like the guru, but I do believe that the algorithm is going to make that the easiest thing. For somebody
Hmm.
to search you by. And so having that location for those in-person doulas makes a ton of sense.
Hmm. Do you feel like that's too much over there that I added all of that on the name line?
Let's see, did you put it on the actual
I just put it on the chat right now.
oh,
I
okay.
didn't put it on my Instagram yet.
No worries. All right, let's see here. Doula. I like that you moved Boston up to the name line. I think that
Maybe skipping my last name, or do
you
I
could
even need to
you
have my
you
name there?
you could totally skip your last name. I like having the name, the
Mhm.
first name at least. You could also do EDU. I feel like everybody knows that means
Education.
education. So that could be, but if that fits, I mean, that's also fine.
Like childbirth EDU?
You could,
Uh-huh.
you could.
Thank you.
Yeah. See what it looks like on the phone because I think
Right.
most mamas are looking at us on the
Sure.
phone. And I have this horrible like habit of doing stuff on the desktop and then realizing it looks terrible on the phone.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, Alex, I agree with her with the Boston is going to handle the search for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Samantha, good question. How detailed in the location would you go if your primary offer is virtual? I think it's not as important then, as the in-person doulas for sure. Like I'm virtual and I don't even have Buffalo in my bio because I just know that it's not really helping me at all. So that's something that you might want to consider. But I know you're doing some in-person stuff, so I like that you kind of have best of both. Translating medical jargon for pregnant women 35 plus and their partners, positive outcomes based on evidence. Does that all fit, Mona? Because I love it if that fits.
149.
Woo! Does anyone else get frustrated when it says 149, but it won't let you do it? Has anyone done that where it's like, yeah, it's so annoying. Yeah, she's right. You could totally get rid of and just put and partners because it reads really obvious. So I agree with Alex if you need more characters. Helping anxious moms birth with calm confidence and strength. DM to book a free consult. Love it. Face over the logo. Cool. Let's check that out. Is this the Doula My Business? I'm assuming. Obviously. What kind of question is that? Oh, that's cool. So see how Alex was able to put her logo like next to her face and accomplish both. Molly. Just giving you a hard time, girl. Oh, I love it. That's cool. 30 characters for the name line. Okay, MN birth coach and educator. First time home birth mama supporting calm, confident home and low interventions birth. Virtual and sport DM me to explore your birth often. I love it. You're gonna get there, Haya. I know you'll figure it out.
So take away the word birth and just do advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's the word doula and
Right.
like absolutely. Love the Spanish in here for moms to be ready to trust their bodies and feel calm, confident, and supported. For moms to be. Is this like for moms to be who are ready? Is that what you mean?
I remember like future moms.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
pregnant moms?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Is anyone else, because again, this could just be a me thing, but I feel like for whatever reason, my brain's having a hard time understanding that you are talking about moms to be and then who are ready to trust their bodies. But is that just me?
Yes, like pregnant women who are ready
Yeah.
to take the journey and trust
Yeah.
their bodies.
Yeah. I love the sound like you, let's talk. Um, and I don't know how many characters you have left, and I like the emojis. I think it's very your vibe. Um, but I would just rework that little bit of sentence so that it's not confusing. Like either for the moms to be or for pregnant moms who are ready, and you could use a contraction to save characters and it's more casual. Like instead of spelling out who are. Um, I've even seen like where you use the pregnant emoji and
Oh,
just
yeah.
for pregnant emoji to trust their who are ready to trust their bodies, like whatever but otherwise I think this is looking great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you have room in your name line, so you could consider putting like the town or I forget if you're starting virtual or in person. So I think as long as you know that like if you are looking to do in-person birth, I would throw in that keyword in your name line potentially.
That makes sense. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, like Connecticut is pretty broad. If you've got a town or a city, maybe you throw that in the name line.
Mm,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. I think this looks great. What do people know what NS is, Haya?
Yeah, it's North Shore. It's pretty
Okay.
common.
So as long as they know, then you're good.
Yeah, although I'm nervous about that because then there's like South Shore and like everything's kind of within real reach for me. So I don't want to exclude anything.
So maybe you just put Boston,
Right. That's
you
what I was
know?
thinking.
Maybe you just put Boston and then people can figure it out once they kind of have a conversation with you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
If you're willing to travel, then, I have clients that have like a transportation fee. So it's
interesting.
kind of just depends on what you're wanting.
Mhm.
Okay, Tawny, I love this
That's a
conversation
good
for
idea.
you. Yeah. Can I seamlessly write a bio that speaks to professionals and birthing families, or should I pick one? So if you can, let's talk about it. And if you can't, that's okay. Um, really it's kind of like, yes, I think there is a way to tackle both. And I'm pretty sure Let's pull that up because I know you are working on that. Okay, so we've got room for the name line. Totally could put your location and your keywords in that name line, Tawny. So I think that I would recommend. And then that will free up characters for you down here. So like this birth doula with your credentials could totally go up on your name line. That's going to give you a whole nother line down here. Um, I'm not sure people know what pro training means. I almost think we need to be more specific. Um, in terms of like, what are you training? Who are you training and what are you training them in? Right? Because pro training could mean you're a doula trainer, but I know you're talking specifically about high risk support, right? So I would definitely play with your name line, add that location in there. Yeah, go ahead. Only if you can talk, no pressure.
It's okay. I just have background noise.
It's fine. It's
So
always
I
fine.
get what you're saying. That's why I was wondering, like, should I do like a line for each, like, so the high risk family support, and then confused to confident, and then the next one would be for the professionals, and so um, see, and it's almost the same as a doula. You're being the doula for the doulas
Yep.
because not many know much about high risk pregnancies
Yeah.
or how to support anybody with that label. And so I'm not sure just how to word that. And I didn't know if I should just have one audience.
Okay, so I feel like there's so many different answers. I know that you're still in the process really of figuring out like this niche really, and like part of me sees you doing what I've had other colleagues do well, which is, hey, I have this offer for doulas or birth professionals, and it's become my bread and butter, but then I also have resources for mamas or the reverse. Like there's no right or wrong. It just kind of depends where your business takes you. And so again, I think like for me, it's that whole let's first make six figures doing something pretty specific, and then we can add that layer. So for you, I think you could totally attack both of those in your bio. Um, I really do. I think there is a way to basically say like I am the go-to for high risk families, and and then you in that same bio, I definitely think you could say something along supporting doulas as they all, I know that I think you and I had come up with a couple lines, right, that we were playing around with where it kind of encompassed both.
This was what we came up with together when we were bouncing a few things. And so now I know I can move a bunch of stuff up to that name
Yeah.
line, and I'll put location.
Yeah.
And then so just specify, kind of like giving a clearer picture.
Yeah. And then talk to us about like high risk family support. How would you describe that?
Virtual support that walks through the whole pregnancy.
Okay.
And then, a ways postpartum. I haven't kind of figured out the postpartum side, but some of that is transitioning. A lot of these families are in the NICU, so they're going to need to be there for a while and then transitioning to.
Yeah, and I almost want the word NICU in your bio because it feels like that's a huge piece of your education and your support. So I think pulling out those pieces and let's try not to make assumptions. Um, which I think that I did like whenever we put this together, I'm looking at it going, I want it even more specific. I think there's like more parts to your unique method that we can almost highlight that really differentiates you. Um, and again, with the special care doula, to me, that repetition is not necessary, and you might be able to actually free up some more characters to say some more things since we know that anybody who lands on your page is going to see special care doula because it's your handle. So that could be something helpful for you too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking whenever I was looking at everybody's today. I was like, oh, I think I
Yeah.
can take that off.
Yeah, I totally think you can. Um,
And
the
the more
vibe,
we talk, I think I really am leaning more towards doing kind of what you just said, and that being that bread and butter being more the professional side.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then just like, yeah, I totally can support other people, but maybe putting all my eggs more in that basket, so to speak.
Yeah, and so I mean, being that it's a newer account and that you're going through this whole process with us, I almost think like we go all in on the professional support because again, it's the same thing that we talked about with Molly and we talked about with Samantha, which is like so if you had 10 doulas want to train with you because they want more knowledge on high risk pregnancy, but then you have a mama that's referred to you by a doula that DMs you and says like, "Do you also help pregnant women navigate this?" Chances are you're not going to turn her away based on what conversations you and I have had. But I almost feel like let's not do all the marketing around the smaller percentage of women that we want to reach. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. So I'll
Yeah.
work on that. I'll try to
Yeah.
play with
Yeah.
this, and then I'll post it in the group.
Great. And use AI and tell AI you want it to be really conversational, like what would a doula say? And really show your personality and all of you're another one where like I really think your family life lends a lot of credibility to what you're trying to do. You know, this is not your first rodeo and so all those little aspects of our branding are just so important. Business and marketing twice. Let's just take a quick peek at Alex. Business strategy and marketing support that feels like partnership, helping you grow with intention and care. DM me if your business needs a doula. Yeah, so I think you changed it. Did you just change it? Or you're saying you don't feel like we need business and marketing by Alex King? Is that what you meant? I think that's what she meant. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's room for more keywords because I agree with you, Alex. It's here. And there's no question that that's what they're getting when they land on your profile. And I think keeping the feels like partnership is huge. But you probably have some characters freed up that you could throw more keywords in. I like that. Okay, Troy. To my creative mompreneurs worldwide, your joy in pregnancy will improve your postpartum healing. Listen and nurture your pregnancy journey podcast to find out how. I like that. I mean, I think that's very creative. Um, I mean, to me, this is very niche. Like, this is like you're speaking to mompreneurs, okay? And you're telling us you're virtual because you're saying worldwide, and you're talking about joy and really like to me, it's very benefit driven, and I love the call to action. So yeah, I think you're onto something. That's great. Boston and NS. Oh yeah, Boston Plus could work. Doula Samantha, birth coach and educator. New Samantha, doula educator. I love it. I love the home birth mama. I just think it adds such a human personality type thing. Huge. Love it. Reduce pregnancy pain and leave centered for a smooth, calm birth. Let's talk evidence-based versus routine care. Love that. Book me, DM me to book a free call. Reduce pregnancy pain and leave centered for a smooth, calm birth. I'm just a little confused. I know you mean leave the yoga class. Maybe you just, and I don't know where you are with the characters, Danielle, but you're so close. Like, reduce pregnancy pain. Um, Yeah, it's like and walk away with or leave class feeling more like, and I know I'm just adding a ton of words, so that might be tricky, but I think you're so close. Just make sure it's not confusing, the leaving part. We don't want to assume, but that's amazing. Recenter. Yeah. Rachel, let's spend the last 10 minutes talking objections, and then my goal is to really give three most common objections so that you have something to think about while you're going through the portal. But I just had a feeling that people really needed this today. So yeah, hit us. That's a perfect segue.
Sorry, I had to reopen my stuff.
All good.
Yes, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt anything.
No, I think that was perfect. I think everybody's feeling more complete on the bio stuff.
Good. No, it's always so good to see all the extra little tidbits about it.
Awesome.
So my question is, I have been doing, I don't want to say poorly, but I have not closed any sales so far this month. And
Okay.
I've had about 6 or 7 calls, and I've been trying to do my scholarship, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem I'm running into is cost, but the problem I'm running into the cost is because everyone is a postpartum mom who isn't working. So they have
Okay.
no extra income, and their husband is maybe on working or wasn't working. So I don't know if it's been like just another. I don't want to seem like shallow when I'm asking these questions either, but it's like I don't know if it's just an
No.
excuse to be like, no, I can't do this, like whatever, or like if that's like a legit concern, like because by the time I'm getting them to the end of the call, everyone is saying yes, and they're saying yes, 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 yes all the way,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's then I tell them the price and what they're getting and all the things, and then it's like, oh. Maybe not now, but when I start work, that would be better. Maybe not now, but when I can save up. Maybe not now when I can start in the new year. Maybe not now. If I'm still dealing with this, I'll still reach out. Your thing sounds so great and it's so comprehensive, blah 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 blah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
and I know I'm not asking like the financial I should be asking more of the financial question of like what maybe what can you do, or if you're open to looking at your finances together, what would that look like? I haven't been doing those questions,
Okay.
but
Because
I'm
they
just yeah.
feel, because is there a reason like, and that like, I'm not looking for a specific answer, but usually there's like a real reason that we all feel. But would you say that you can pinpoint like why you're not taking it to that next question to say like,
Well, maybe
um,
I feel probably I feel like I'm weird about the question right now. Like now I'm seeing the pattern. I'm just like, okay, now I really need to just suck up and ask the question.
yeah,
Um, which is fine. I haven't had another call since to like implement it.
yeah.
Um,
So let's talk about the
yeah.
question itself, because I think that what most people are going to benefit from, and I'm so glad you're bringing this up, is like we all feel weird about that question. So it's like, how can we ask it in a way that doesn't feel like inauthentic, right? Okay, so I think that what I'm hearing you say, Rachel, is you're either getting a price objection or a timing objection. Okay. And that often those are linked, but really in my brain, they're almost like two different things. So so, in my experience, when somebody is going to object based on price, okay, so if they say to you, I can't afford that right now, it's not, you know, I didn't allocate that money, I don't have a job, so I don't have income coming in, so we just can't swing it, like whatever it is, you can pretty much always guarantee that that objection itself is either a value problem or a timing problem in disguise. So it's very possible that money is a piece of it, but it's usually there's more to it, value or timing, okay?
Mhm.
So I think number one is we want to let's actually back up a little bit because I could say this 1,000 times, so I'm just going to always take the opportunity. What I'm hearing is that Rachel price dropped on this call and asked for the sale. And so, again, for those of us that are newer to this, I want you to get away from getting close to the end of a consultation and saying, okay, like, this has been so amazing and I'm so grateful for your time. If you have any questions, let me know. And instead, I want us to say, based on everything you told me today, it sounds like you're looking for XYZ. Or I'm hearing that your top priority is XYZ. My blah blah package or whatever your offer is a one-time investment of X or three payments of da 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 da. Like whatever your phrasing, which is going to be unique to you and your offer and your price, I want you to get in the habit of saying, this is the price for this offer. And then I want you to go silent. And again, we're not going silent because we're being manipulative and playing games. Instead, we're going silent because we want to give that person an option, or sorry, an opportunity to process what we just told them. That's all we're doing is we're dropping the price, we're going quiet so they can let their brain register the information. And then in a perfect world, we're letting them speak first. Okay? Because first of all, it's just much more grounded to let them speak first. We don't know how much time they need to process that information, so we don't want to interrupt. And sometimes it's important for us to just know that we're going to wait for them to speak so we don't start like apologizing for our price or backtracking, which is human nature. So those are all the reasons why it's really helpful to drop the price and then take a deep breath. I love to take a sip of my water to force myself to not say anything. So, like, whatever the little thing is that helps you. And then often they're going to say, okay, that sounds great. Unfortunately, I can't afford it. Or they might say, oh, okay. And they might hit you with an objection or a question. Um, or they might say, I'm in. Let's do this. Okay. So I just wanted to back it up. Now, validating whatever comes out of their mouth is really important. So if they say, we can't afford that right now, you could say, I totally understand. It's definitely an investment. And then I want you to get curious. Okay? Can I ask, what would it mean for you to get support that helps you actually, and then you can describe the outcome that you've been talking about for the last half hour, or you can, um, really kind of depends. Like it depends on what you're selling, but essentially you're saying, what would it feel like? What would it mean for you to get the support that you just told me you wanted? To get the support that makes you feel less isolated in postpartum, to get the support that makes sure that you aren't exhausted in the fourth trimester, to get the support to help relieve the pain that we just talked about in detail. Okay? So I love the formula of ask for the sale by dropping the price, go silent, give her a moment to process, and then validate whatever she says. I totally get it. It's a really big decision. Can I ask you, what would it mean for you to get the support that helps you achieve XYZ or that helps you make certain that you have an empowered experience? Like whatever that phrase is, okay? And I have never, ever had someone say, I'm not answering that. Or I've never had somebody say, how dare you ask me that? So I know that question can sound and feel a little scary, but really it's just we're curious, like, hey, what would it mean to you to have this kind of support despite the price? And what that does is it reminds them of their why. It gets them talking about their feelings. Okay, and it kind of like brings them back to the top of the conversation instead of focusing just on the price. Okay, so that's definitely one of my favorite things to ask. The other thing I love about it is that's giving you more credibility that they know you are listening because that's another opportunity for you to say, I know exactly what you're looking for. I was listening the last half hour. You want this. Okay. Another thing that could work, and I know Rachel, you've done this, but let's just again make sure that you feel really good about the wording, is to say something like, um, listen, Cindy, when I have calls like this, which is pretty frequent, sometimes it's not actually about the money itself, but it's about the clarity on what this could make possible for you. And then you can say straight up, like, is this truly a budget issue or is it something else? Okay, so we're basically trying to get them to talk about, is this dollar and cents that's the problem, or is there an unanswered question? Is there a spouse that's not supportive? Is there another doula who's offering half the price? And it's hard for you to wrap your head around my price because, like, and again, we ask the question and then we just go silent. And you'd be amazed at what they say. And if they say, no, absolutely, it's 100% about the money. In fact, I'd be a 10 out of 10, no questions asked if I had the funds. Now you know that the next best thing for you to say is, let's talk about what could make this more digestible. Tell me where you're at. I am willing to work with you. Talk to me about what you need. And sometimes they're going to see something that you absolutely can't accept. But sometimes they're going to say something that's not even nearly as bad as you thought, and it's going to surprise you, and you're going to say, I could totally do that for you. Okay? Um, so just to recap, when it comes to price objection, I want you to know that almost always it's either I don't understand what I'm getting, and therefore the value feels off from the price tag, and I'm scared to say yes because I don't think I'm going to get what I don't get what I'm getting, okay? And I need clarity. Or it's like a timing issue and they're scared to commit to something and then not utilize it. So they're like, I'll just keep postponing it, which is all the more reason why we have to bring them back to their why. What would it mean for you to have the support that we just talked about, the specific support that you said would change the game for you? The reason you got on this call, what would that mean for you? Because what that's doing is it's helping them raise the value themselves. Okay? And then again, with the payment options, there's so many different ways you can slice it. I know, Rachel, you've had success with like, well, what could you put down? Recently, I've actually looked into using Afterpay, which was surprisingly very low risk. Afterpay essentially takes my price and spreads it over like 6 or 12 months at no risk to me. Like I get paid up front and then Afterpay handles all the payments for that client. And I'm going to start using that moving forward. So that's another thing that we could all look into because it doesn't cost anything.
Do you have to use that through like Stripe or anything like that? Because I know Stripe will let you use
Klarna.
yeah, that one,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, it,
like
it is.
you can
I'm
like
pretty
activate it,
sure.
whatever it is.
Yes, I'm pretty sure activated it through Thrivecart and you can absolutely activate it through Stripe. And I'm pretty sure Klarna and Afterpay are like the exact same thing.
Right.
So as
Okay.
long as you have one or the other. Um, and then I think helping them understand that it's not about the money only, it's not only about the money. And you can try to help shift their perspective by saying like, this type of support isn't really a cost. Like it is a commitment to create the outcome that you want. It's a commitment to a pain-free experience. It's a commitment to being able to look back on your postpartum and actually cherish those memories. It's a commitment to being able to tell your birth story and feel empowered instead of traumatized. Like depending on what words they use throughout the consult. Okay? Um with all of that said, I just need to go on record. Like, no one has had more no's than me. And so we can break this down, and I know that it'll increase your conversions, but there are going to always be price objections, and that is sometimes something that you will not be able to overcome. And I really want you to understand that this is very much a numbers game, right? Because there's going to be things that they don't tell us and they don't feel comfortable telling us. We can do our very best to dig into it and get under the surface, but some mamas aren't going to feel comfortable saying, I told my partner and he said, absolutely not. And so the problem that I want to just like highlight is that you may never actually learn the real reason. And that's why you can't take it personally. Okay? But we are going to have a lot of practice with this and it's going to get easier and easier. what I'm going to do for the agenda portion of today in the Google Docs is give you like what I think are really the top three, which is like price, I need to think about it, and I need to talk to my partner. And so that way you can take what I just did with the price objection and have those tools for those other very common objections to pair with um the workbook and the portal. And then, like I said, we'll kind of tack this on to a future call, but I didn't want to leave anybody in the dust with the social media stuff. And I think we had some really good conversations. And my hope is that you take the Instagram bio discussion and really use that as a lens for your content. Like, I feel like today we did a lot more than just talk about your bio. This is more about like, what is the vibe of your entire profile? What are people going to see here? What are they going to experience here? How can we kind of give them that insight before they deep dive our stuff? Like, how can we give them a precursor so that they feel safe sticking around? Okay, awesome. All right, I hope there's a lot of discussion in Telegram. I don't want anyone to feel incomplete. So if you've got lingering questions or things pop up, hit me in Telegram. I'll be in there all week long. Thank you for being open to kind of like switching up the flow. And I'm excited to talk more about objections as we go deeper. All right. Okay, friends. So good to see you all. Talk to you
Have a
soon.
good week, everyone. See you
You
in
too.
Telegram.
Thanks so much for being here.